What's with this cheap plain dress? I can't believe you would show up in such a filthy outfit on such a special day. I told you to dress properly. This is what happens with poor upbringing, said Jennifer, my mother-in-law, as she splashed black ink on me. This dress was a gift from my father-in-law's mother, Amelia. It's very precious to me. This dress cost $200,000, you know? You're going to reimburse me, right? What? $200,000? Jennifer's eyes widened as she froze on spot. I've been patient until now, but I've reached my limit. Watching the scene, Amelia, with a terrifying look, confronted Jennifer. My name is Anastasia. I'm 28 years old. I married Walter, my colleague from the same company, 3 years ago. After getting married, I quit my job to become a housewife. We're thinking about having kids eventually, but we want to enjoy our time as a couple a bit longer. When we both have days off, we go out together, and that alone makes me incredibly happy. My married life with Walter has been smooth sailing. However, even after 3 years of marriage, my relationship with Jennifer hasn't improved. Every time she sees me, Jennifer always throws snide remarks my way. From the beginning of my marriage to Walter, Jennifer has been tough on me. I was excited when Walter said he is bringing home a wife, but you're so plain. How rude can someone be? I still remember feeling anxious when Jennifer said that to me during my first visit to my in-laws for the marriage introduction. Maybe the impression she got from the first meeting is why she keeps making these snide remarks. Frank, a corporate president with a significant income, married Jennifer, who probably never had to struggle in her life. Jennifer, don't be so rude. Frank admonished when Jennifer was troubling me with her snide remarks. My father-in-law, Frank, unlike Jennifer, seemed plain, but kind-hearted. As a president, he never boasts about his wealth. He continues to be kind and caring towards Walter and me. In contrast, Jennifer, draped in designer brands, is flashy and has a high-end mindset along with a harsh personality. By the way, what do your parents do? Jennifer asked about my parents. My father is a salaried worker and my mother works as a nurse. Oh, your mother had to work too? She must have struggled a lot. I have been a housewife since I got married, so I can't understand such hardships. Maybe you wear cheap things because you grew up poor? Wearing cheap stuff can lower your own value. I would never wear them though. I was on the verge of exploding with anger at Jennifer's mocking attitude towards my parents, but I desperately suppressed my emotions and managed a forced smile to get through the moment. Hey, let's leave it at that. After boasting, Jennifer demeaned me, which disgusted Walter. He admonished Jennifer, and somehow we managed to finish the visit to my in-laws. Next, we headed to Amelia's house. Walter's family home was on a large property with 2 independent houses, one for each set of parents and Amelia. Even though they're separate, Amelia's house is just a 30-second walk from my in-laws. Both are impressive traditional-style mansions, but Amelia's is far more grand. You've come to visit? How wonderful. We were greeted by 80-year-old Amelia at the entrance. It's amazing you live in such a grand mansion. I excitedly complimented Amelia on her house. It's nothing special, just had it built cheaply by a carpenter friend of my late husband. Plus, the land was cheap since it's in the countryside. Amelia replied with a laugh to my excited compliments. Jennifer always talks about herself boastfully, but Amelia showed no such behavior. From our conversation, it seemed Jennifer respected Amelia. In front of me, she's quite reserved, Amelia noted. She might have been born into a good family, but she couldn't be so extravagant without my son's earnings, she said with a quiet laugh. My late grandfather-in-law was a well-known local bigwig around here with a considerable income. Even from my perspective, Amelia's home seemed very affluent. There was a genuine sense of ease about Amelia. Unlike with Jennifer, Jennifer probably feels grateful to Amelia for being able to live so lavishly. She respects me, but I'm not too fond of it. She dresses so flashy and in poor taste, right? Amelia might be right in her observation. I also felt that Jennifer seemed like someone who used to be poor. Come and visit any time. Don't be shy, Amelia said with kindness, and we were about to leave after our conversation. Despite my anxiety about getting along with Jennifer, I felt reassured knowing that Amelia, Frank, and Walter were on my side. Their kindness made me believe I could continue my married life with Walter. Jennifer, as usual, boasted about her possessions every time we met, always ending with belittling me. I was raised in a good family and my husband is a corporate president with a good income, so I have never worn anything cheap. You might be content with less because you are poor. Walter has always worn only the best, raised to distinguished quality, and then he brings home a wife like you? Every time she said something like that, I felt increasingly despondent. A year into our marriage, Jennifer was set to visit our home. Walter had work in the morning, so for a while, it would just be Jennifer and me. I was anxious about surviving until Walter returned. Then Jennifer arrived. Jennifer, it's been a while. I greeted Jennifer as I invited her into the house. Sorry to drop by so suddenly, she said. Excuse me, I'll make some coffee. As I stood to prepare the coffee, Jennifer also got up and started wandering around the room. I wondered what she was doing. While making coffee in the kitchen, I peeked into the living room, uneasy about Jennifer's restlessness. She was inspecting the laundry, even unfolding neatly folded clothes. Her actions were incomprehensible to me. You really only own plain clothes. You keep getting plainer because this is all you have. Then Jennifer started stuffing my clothes into a trash bag. Jennifer, please stop. I tried desperately to stop her, but in vain. Jennifer kept putting my clothes in the bag. Don't be so mad. It's just clothes. I'll buy you new ones. As my daughter-in-law, you should wear better things or I'll be embarrassed. Jennifer showed no remorse. It was insane to throw away someone's belongings with such selfish reasoning. I prefer simple makeup and clothes, but among the items Jennifer put in the trash bag were clothes precious to me filled with memories. Her audacity doing as she pleased without knowing anything was unbearable. I wanted to retaliate, strip her of all her designer items and throw them away. I wanted to cut ties with Jennifer immediately, but since my relationship with Walter, Frank, and Amelia was good, I thought I should just endure it. I could only watch Jennifer's abnormal behavior helplessly. Eventually, Walter returned from work and the three of us went out for lunch. After lunch, Jennifer returned to her in-laws' house. Back home, I tearfully collected my clothes that Jennifer had thrown into the trash bag. What happened? Walter asked, unaware of the situation. I explained to Walter how Jennifer treated me while he was at work. I'm really sorry. If I had spoken to Mom more firmly, this wouldn't have happened. Walter apologized with a remorseful expression. It's not your fault, but I never thought Jennifer would do something so terrible. I managed to say through my tears. That night, Walter stayed up late to help me clean and fix the clothes Jennifer had thrown into the trash bag. I'm just living my life normally, yet Jennifer's arbitrary values have led to this treatment. This thought filled me with frustration and tears. Since then, Jennifer started coming to our house almost every week. When will you stop wearing such poverty-stricken clothes? I would be too ashamed to wear such filthy clothes. She continued to criticize my appearance, saying things like that. Dress like that. You probably can't even do household chores properly. Poor Walter, having to eat food cooked by a young girl like you. Eventually, she even started to nag about my housekeeping. It's one thing to complain about my clothes. Just because my style seems cheap doesn't mean I can't do household chores. After about 3 months of constant complaints from Jennifer, because you keep wearing such clothes, you're unable to do housework properly and look poor. She took scissors and started cutting up my clothes. My memories were now in tatters. Maybe now you'll buy new clothes? Next time, please avoid such cheap attire. Jennifer said dismissively before leaving. Why did she have to go this far? I looked at my cut-up clothes, feeling anger well up inside me. 2 days after Jennifer came to our house and cut up my clothes, I received a call from her. I initially wanted to ignore it, but she kept calling back. Thinking something might have happened to Frank or Jennifer, I reluctantly answered. Hello, this is Anastasia. What's up? I'm having a party next month for my 60th birthday with friends and family. I would like you and Walter to come. It will start in the evening. It was just for a party, and after what she did to me, I couldn't believe she had the nerve to invite me. Honestly, I didn't want to go, but with Amelia, Frank, and Walter there, I figured it wouldn't be too bad. All right, we'll attend, I answered Jennifer. Good. It's going to be a grand celebration for my 60th birthday, but please don't come in your usual plain attire. If you dress strangely, it will embarrass me, so make sure you dress properly. By properly dressed, she probably meant an outfit like hers, decked up in designer brands. However, I didn't own anything flashy for such a party. That night, I discussed with Walter what to wear to Jennifer's birthday party. It's just a birthday party, right? No need for flashy clothes. Let's just go in something a bit casual. Too formal and it gets tiring, Walter said with a smile. I felt relieved. I had thought he might insist on dressing up since he was raised by Jennifer on the day of Jennifer's birthday party. We arrived at my in-laws' house around 3 p.m., a bit early. Oh, you're early. Would you mind stopping by my house first? Amelia invited us into her house. She led us to the living room. She probably nagged you about dressing properly, didn't she? Amelia guessed right. Yes, she did, but how did you know? Well, when we go out for lunch or tea, you never mention her. I guessed you two went on good terms. Plus, I've known her for many years, so I can usually tell what she's likely to say. Amelia answered with a smile. Since the day I went to greet her, I had a good relationship with Amelia and often went out for lunch or tea with her. I never talked about Jennifer in front of Amelia, fearing it would spoil our enjoyable time. Anyway, Anastasia, would you take this dress? Amelia offered. The dress Amelia gave me was clearly a high-quality, well-maintained piece. Even to someone inexperienced like me, I can't accept this. It's too good for me to wear. I protested. Anastasia, I want you to have it. I know you'll take good care of it. Amelia insisted. Gratefully, I decided to accept it. Try it on and wear it to the party today. I'm sure she won't complain about this dress. You look great in it. It was one of my favorite pieces, but I don't wear it anymore. It's a shame to keep it stored away, and it costs about $200,000. I didn't want to say it too loud, though. I was amazed that Amelia would give her cherished dress worth $200,000 not to her daughter-in-law Jennifer, but to me, her grandson's wife. I wondered why she was so kind to me. Tears of joy welled up in my eyes. Thank you. I'll cherish it for life. After thanking Amelia, I went to find Walter relaxing in the living room. You look absolutely beautiful. Walter was surprised by my unusual attire, but his compliment was genuinely pleasing. Then it was time for the party. Walter and I headed to my in-laws' house. Please eat, drink, and enjoy yourselves tonight. About 15 people, including relatives, Jennifer's friends, and us gathered in the spacious room. The party kicked off with Jennifer's greeting was filled with luxurious ingredients and expensive champagne. After about an hour into the party, Jennifer seemed quite drunk. Anastasia, come here. She suddenly called me out and we stepped into the hallway to talk. What's up? I told you to dress properly, didn't I? I thought I was appropriately dressed in the beautiful dress Amelia gave me, but Jennifer had other ideas. I didn't say anything when you first arrived because everyone was around, but what's with that cheap and plain dress? I can't believe you would wear such a filthy outfit on such a special day. To my shock, Jennifer was criticizing the dress Amelia had given me. Change out of that tacky dress immediately. This dress looks very expensive to me, though. Jennifer clearly didn't understand the value of the dress. She probably equates luxury with flashiness. It looks cheap from any angle. Your sense of style is just wrong, she exclaimed. I couldn't believe what she was saying about this $200,000 dress. It's her who's got a wrapped up sense of style, not me. In my mind, I was mocking Jennifer. The next moment, Jennifer splashed black ink on me. A cheap dress suits being dirty better, she said, satisfied, and walked back into the room laughing mockingly. Looking down, I was speechless. The dress Amelia had kindly given me, saying I would take good care of it, was now ruined with black ink. I won't forgive you for ruining the dress Amelia gave me. I was so furious with Jennifer, I felt like I could punch her at any moment. Just as I was about to expose everything Jennifer had done in front of everyone, Amelia stopped me. Oh my! What happened to your dress is terribly dirty. It was Amelia who addressed me, seeing how angry I was. I struggled to tell her that Jennifer had thrown black ink on me. Of course, I didn't dirty the dress myself, but I didn't know how to apologize to the person who had given it to me. It's okay if it's dirty, but what happened? Actually, Jennifer called it a cheap dress and threw black ink on me. I'm so sorry. I apologized profoundly to Amelia for what Jennifer had done. I'm sorry, I should have disciplined her more when she married into our family. She's always been a housewife, never doing much housework and just spending money because my son earns well. It's not your fault, Amelia. I told you to wear something nice and then she ruins it with ink. I have been too lenient with her. It's one thing if she's happy with her own flashy poor taste, but imposing her values on you and doing something this awful, I have reached my limit. Suddenly, the usually mild-mannered Amelia's expression turned frightening. She entered the room and I hurried after her. When Amelia found Jennifer, she confronted her right there. "You seem to be enjoying yourself. Did you throw black ink on my dress?" "What? Amelia's dress? What do you mean?" "That's the dress I just gave to Anastasia." The room buzzed as everyone saw me covered in black ink. Frank and Walter noticed me in ink-stained state and quickly brought me a change of clothes. When I returned to the room, Jennifer's face had turned pale. Jennifer's friends, having heard our conversation with Amelia, "Did you really splash ink on her? That's just too cruel." They were causing quite a commotion, saying things like that. "That's the worst way to treat someone's belongings." "Do you know the difference between right and wrong?" The relatives were also berating Jennifer. Jennifer, criticized by everyone, bowed her head in silence. "I have had enough. You threw away my things, mocked me for wearing simple and inexpensive clothes, and ruined Amelia's dress with ink. What's wrong with you? You said this dress was cheap, but do you know its worth is $200,000? Are you going to reimburse me?" I unleashed all my pent-up feelings on Jennifer. "What? $200,000? Jennifer, who had been silent, asked in shock. "Yes, you easily threw ink on a $200,000 dress. You always told Anastasia to wear luxury items, but do you really understand their value? Have you become arrogant since marrying my son? I have always thought so, but you need to stop your flashy and poor taste. It's disgraceful." Amelia scolded Jennifer fiercely. Jennifer, who had soiled Amelia's respected dress and been called tasteless, shrank to the point of disappearing. "You've been treating Anastasia like this all along? How could you treat my sweet daughter-in-law who married Walter so poorly? I never thought you were like this. Get out of this house." Frank, learning of Jennifer's treatment of me for the first time, was furiously dragging her by the collar. "I've always thought so, but isn't this disrespectful to Anastasia? It's a privilege to have her at your birthday party, and you treat her like this?" Walter, too, was fuming. "Jennifer, you always talk about being well-bred and wearing luxury items, but isn't that just flashy on the outside? A true connoisseur would recognize this dress as high-end. Moreover, someone truly well-bred wouldn't boast about it or throw away someone's clothes just because they think they're cheap." I pressed further against Jennifer. "Anastasia is right. You can't be said to have good upbringing. Since marrying my son, your spending has become extravagant and your attire increasingly flashy. Honestly, I don't like your flashy and tasteless style. You should cool down a bit. Starting tomorrow, don't enter this property until I say it's okay." Jennifer, bombarded from all sides, resignedly said, "I'm truly sorry." She hung her head low. "If you're genuinely sorry, stop these harassments from now on. I'll let it go this time, but there won't be any mercy next time." Leaving Jennifer with those words, Walter and I returned home. Although it was disappointing to have the dress ruined, I felt relieved having finally confronted Jennifer about everything she had done. She deserved it for mocking others while being blind to her own faults. She should be ashamed of herself. The next day, Amelia called. "I am really sorry about yesterday. I sent the dress to the cleaners, but if the stain doesn't come out, you won't want it, right?" "No, even if the stain remains, I still want the dress. It's precious because you gave it to me." I didn't want Amelia's treasured dress to be discarded like that. I didn't mind some remaining stains. "You're right to keep it. I'm glad I gave it to someone who appreciates its value. Honestly, I'd be sad to throw it away." I was honored by Amelia's words. I've always cherished things regardless of their luxury, which might have earned her appreciation. A week later, after the dress was clean, I went to Amelia's house to pick it up. "It's cleaner, but there are still some small stains." Amelia seemed apologetic, showing me the dress. "It's perfectly fine. The stains aren't noticeable at all. No problem." I took the dress from Amelia. "By the way, what happened to Jennifer?" Curiosity struck me and I asked Amelia. "Frank is angrier than me. He told her he wouldn't let her spend his money anymore and kicked her out." Amelia shared. "Jennifer had been living off the money Frank worked hard for, doing whatever she wanted. It's her own fault, really. They didn't get divorced, but now she's apparently working part-time somewhere." It was something to see Jennifer anger the usually mild-mannered Frank like that. Jennifer, who had lived a comfortable life as a housewife thanks to Frank and Amelia, must have never imagined she would be working part-time at the age of 60. I haven't seen Jennifer since she was driven out of Frank's house. Half a year later, I found out I was pregnant with Walter's child. Walter and I went to inform Frank, Amelia, and my in-laws about the pregnancy. Oh, that's wonderful news! Frank was pleased, but Amelia seemed even more delighted. Just don't end up like her, okay? You'll lose sight of what truly valuable things are. Amelia joked with a laugh. Don't worry, I won't raise our child to be like that. I responded playfully. Finally, the child we had longed for was on the way. I was determined not to raise them like Jennifer and to build a simple yet happy family with Walter and our upcoming child. I wanted Amelia and Frank to dote on our child too. I prayed for their long and healthy lives.